Run Boston Bear says, Bruce, I need to heal lower leg inflammation from running lots. What should I take? Considering DMSO and castor oil packs. Those are great considerations, my friend. Just be very careful with the DMSO because that's going to make your skin hyperpermeable. So even just putting on, I don't know if you wear organic clothes, but the dyes and chemicals in regular clothes, that's going to go through you. If you rub DMSO on, the chemical, even chemicals and dyes from clothing will go through your skin into your blood. So, I mean, not to a massive amount. I mean, I don't know if there's people having massive issues. I just, the devil's in the details. Like, you got to be careful about that stuff. There is no drawback to castor oil packs. Those are awesome. And also, a lot of it's individual based. If you do well with just even ice packs. But, yeah, I know Run Boston Bear likes to run. What gave it away? Yeah, I would do, I'm going to email you a link. Actually, I'm going to email you some magic stuff, my friend. Well, first of all, is it shin splits? Like, what kind of inflammation? Is it muscle, ligament, or bone? We're going to fix you right up, Run Boston Bear. This is Dr. Bruce for entertainment purposes only. Run Boston Bear, what kind of inflammation? Because I'm about to blow your mind here. Okay, who wants some mind shocks? I'm going to give away a long-lost secret of the healing arts of Asia. Welcome, Denise. Yeah, Flat Bob, do you live rurally or in some kind of city or suburb area? Because that makes a huge difference in quality of life. Run Boston Bear, I'm sending you an email right now. One second here. Alright, I just sent you a couple things. So, Run Bustin' Bear says, I have tons of neural tension up and down my kinetic chain. Send the magic. Bunker tips will come back your way. Thank you, sir. I mean, only if it works for you. If it works for you, you can tip me your appreciation. If it doesn't work, obviously, yeah, so neural tension, yeah, that's a little tough. So, by the way, have you ever, I don't know if you're into the standard medical system, but have you ever had an MRI or something like that? So, just weird question. So you don't have, how much bone, ligament, tissue, muscle pain do you have? Welcome, Sarah. Brian. Smoky quartz? I'm in a bunker in an undisclosed location. It's not like a government bunker. It's It's a, shall we call I don't want to disparage the bunker. Needless to say, I don't think, if nukes were real, I don't think it would survive a nuke. It's not fully underground yet. But for the I need to deliver on what I promised. Yeah, so you guys have heard of deer antler soup, reindeer antler soup, elk antler soup. Antler soup is amazing, and it actually regenerates bone, ligament, tissue, and muscles to the point that I think it's actually illegal in certain sports. So, Flat Pop says you've got a mud-flooded bunker. It's not very old, though. So, Smoky Quartz saying, I've been listening to the Emma Filipoff playlist. Yeah, that's a tough one. I was actually just going through notes on that for another episode. Oh, yeah, there you go. Rum Boston Bear says, almost all joints and tendons when stretched feel overly tired and sore last couple years. Yeah, check out that link, my friend. You're in for some magic. Also, how much protein do you take a day? You might have to up your protein to instead of half or 3/4 of your weight, you might have to actually up gram to the pound of your exact weight. A lot of runners are just too skinny, you know? Then again, I mean, if you're doing obscene distances, I mean, obviously, carrying a lot of muscle is going to be tough. But if you did have just a little bit more muscle, it could handle the load. Sarah says, I was wondering if you get lonely in your bunker. Now, I'm not really in the bunker that often. I'm out and about in various natural settings. Yes, nature will not disappoint. Yeah, I'm not in the city anymore. Yeah, Run Boston Bear says, not enough. 6'1", 153 pounds, have been for 30 years. Yeah, I mean, again, just for entertainment purposes, I would say, even bulking, even just putting on maybe not even 10 pounds of full muscle. Maybe like 7 pounds of muscle would make a huge difference. It might possibly affect your cardio, but it should get rid of a lot of the pain, especially as you get older. You definitely want to have a decent amount of muscle as you get older, because that's going to be the first to go when you get a lot older. Run Boston Bear says, I'm 45 now, still pushing myself in 100Ks down to 5Ks. 100K? 100K races? That's wild. Have you looked at the long term? See, 100K might be right on the threshold. Like if you were doing, those 200-mile ultras or whatever. Yeah, a lot of those athletes actually they have heart issues later in life. Like they are not they actually have life expectancy lower than the average American that's fat and out of shape. You might be right on the threshold of what's yeah, I mean 14 hours you run for, yeah, I mean as long as you're not doing it every single weekend. How often do you do them? Clark Rice says, Bruce, there are now 6 separate disappearances of people related to Area 51. Wow, since 2025. Yeah, no, that definitely needs its own podcast. That's crazy. I would actually say there's probably a lot more than that, just from what I read back in like in how short of time span. Since 2025? Yeah, that might be right. Yeah, there's a whole lot more going back further. Yeah, Run Boston Bear, you might be right on the absolute limit of where you'd be impacting your health negatively if you pushed yourself more than that. Because some of the ultras, like, they're not that healthy. The ultra runners, like the 200-mile marathon, like the super crazy ones, like Goggins style. Although Goggins is a freak, so he might not be he might not be going by the regular laws of biology. But yeah, I mean, do you also do sprint training by any chance? Because the VO2 max matters a lot more than how long you can run for your health. All right, let's get to Flat Bob. This is for you. Why did I bring this up? Oh, man, I'm getting distracted easy. So what I was going to say, I was breaking out my Cynthia Rothrock Lady Dragon quote. Who saw Lady Dragon? It might be Lady Dragon 2. I forget which one. No Cynthia Rothrock fans here? Run Boston Bear says 100K is usually every other year. Yeah, that should be fine. My main thing is the Boston every year. April will be my 14th year straight. Best marathon 251. What? That's wild, man. You're a wild man. Do you also do sprint training by any chance? Or just long distance? Yeah, your VO2 max matters a whole lot more than how long you can run. Yeah, you might, I mean, I hesitate to say this, but if your pain is getting really bad, you might have to take a year or two off. Because, again, I don't know your specific situation, but if you're right on the threshold where you're not able to recover, and you continue pushing, so like, I mean, you're close to able to recover, but not quite. So then you never fully recover, and whatever cells are inflamed never get to fully heal. I mean, obviously you can't be in that bad shape because you're still running them, but you know, it to get to that 100% healing, it might make sense to take a year or two off. Just spitballing again. I don't know your specific situation. I don't know what your recovery thresholds are. So, you know, obviously you would need to know that to make that decision, but, Run Boston Bear says some interval training, but not sprints. I know HIIT training is good. Yeah, I mean, I really like, we can end up doing more health and fitness podcasts. I really like, plyometrics and track and field type training. Because, I mean, that's just for functional muscle strength as well. Like, track and field athletes are pretty good shape, good high VO2 max, not as much as cross-country skiers for some reason. They just have obscenely high VO2 maxes, like out of this world. Yeah, that's pretty good, Run Boston Bear. VO2 max 54. But based on your training level, you could probably get that even higher. Yeah, you could based on your cardiovascular shape, you might actually be able to push that a bit if you incorporated sprint training. The Norwegian 4x4 is pretty good, where you sprint. Did we talk about this before? You sprint as fast as you can for 30 to 60 seconds, and then you do a proper rest. Not like 30 seconds. You do a proper 2-3 minute rest. Like, get some decent recovery. And then do another 30 to 60 sprint. You just do 4 sets. That's it. Once or twice a week. In a few months, you'll increase your VO2 max a lot. Unless you have an absolutely horrible diet and sleep. Yes, Flap Up. Let's get back to the... Man, Run Boston Bear's got some impressive stats. We're going to have to do a track and field episode. Just for Run Boston Bear. All right, hold on. Yes, Flap Up. Here's the quote from Cynthia Rothrock. In the movie Lady Dragon or Lady Dragon 2, her master says, nothing very, very good or very, very bad lasts for very, very long. So going back to what I was saying about, you know, the earthly realm can be either heaven or hell, and usually both during different seasons. So, the seasons of life. So, I know for myself, like some really horrible times I've had. I don't really get too personal, but yeah, dark times, and you think they're going to last forever or get worse, and then they turn around and you end up having great times, and it's just these cycles that keep on happening. And I know not everybody's like that. I know some people truly have dark times for just a really long time, and there are some seemingly ignorant imbeciles who are just having the time of their lives for season after season after season. So, yeah, let's not fall for logical fallacies there. But in general, I think everybody experiences the seasons of life. Smoky Quartz says business ideas in the post-AI economic... Okay, yeah, wow. Well, man, I do not have good thoughts there, Smoky Quartz. It's tough. I think blue collar is going to make a comeback, and I think... If we're going by Murphy's Law, I think the EMP is inevitable. At some point, the internet's going down. Now, whether or not that takes the entire grid with it, I'm not sure. But I think, we might be due for a civilization reset, in which case, learn basic survival skills, and blue collar is the way to go. Yes, Jeff. Wise words from Jeff here. The mind can be the greatest prison of them all. Don't let it be. And a great example of that is some people who go to prison. Now, I've never been in prison, believe it or not. Some people who go to prison, most people probably come out a lot worse. Some people came out a lot better than they went in. Like some gangbangers that were just wasting their lives. All of a sudden, they start reading a lot, philosophy, all these different fields. They end up getting college degrees. Not that those are worth much, but it's better than being a gangbanger on the street. And then they end up even starting a business, becoming entrepreneurs, and they totally turn their life around, and they would not have had they not gone to prison, most likely. So, yeah, that's a good example. Wow, Flat Bob, sorry to hear about that with your family. Yes, I know some people have had tremendous losses throughout their life. Not fun. I mean, there's obviously even small children out there that have just horrible, horrible lives and life events. But you can find examples of you can find both. This is why fallacies are fallacies, especially false dichotomies. You can find examples of people in just the worst possible situations ever with their whole family murdered. And then they end up, able to have success and happiness later in life, and then other people who are not able to. So, yeah, Jeff is on point with the mind determining the outcome.